games in history were so saddled with unreachable expectations as Doom 3 was when it first launched in the summer of '04. While a quick glance at old reviews would seem to indicate an unqualified success, you don't have to look far to find fans who were less than pleased with the results. After all, Doom 3 was about as much of an FPS as Resident Evil 6 is a survival horror game. Sometimes change simply isn't what players want. Incredibly, 8 years later and sans expectations, Doom 3 BFG Edition feels like it's arrived at the perfect time. You get the best looking version of Doom 3 ever presented on consoles, the Resurrection of Evil expansion, a solid new 8-level mini-campaign, plus Doom 1 and 2 with most of their expansions as well. Though certain elements of this re-release feel dialed in, and some of its visuals and mechanics date it pretty clearly, the quality of the game itself shines through in a way it couldn't have for players with a Doom 2-sized chip on their shoulder.
Swan, just stay out of my way. Amazing things will happen here soon. You just wait.
Many games drop the player into a world on the verge of going awry, but few ever do it as compellingly as this one. Everything from the ambient sound effects and competent voice acting to the worn-away look of the UAC facilities work in concert to create the appearance that Mars City is a real place you could work and live in today. Doom 3 uses this strong sense of location to get your buy-in early, which makes its sudden descent into madness believable and frightening. With its oppressive darkness and crafty sound design that keeps you frantically checking every corner to see what's there, Doom 3 is a blood-soaked nightmare in the most delightful way possible. Sure, the character models are a bit light in the polygons, and normal mapping has come a long way since this game was considered cutting edge. But it was so ahead of the technology curve at the time that it holds up surprisingly well, especially in the lighting department. Honestly, none of this will be new to any PC gamer who had a godly rig back in '04, but for those who didn't and could only experience Doom 3 via its watered-down console release on the original Xbox, BFG Edition is a real treat. It may not look like much by today's standards, but its claustrophobic corridors and moody lighting still create a palpable tension, and there's no better way to experience it than in high definition at 60 frames per second. Where Doom 1 and 2 were all about circle strafing while unloading hundreds of rounds into a swarm of imps, Doom 3 is about managing your ammo as you fight one or two at a time. That might sound a bit underwhelming, but the tight quarters and myriad ways in which your foes can ambush you makes it anything but. Enemies lurk behind thick shadows, jump down out of ceiling vents, and crawl through mangled pipelines in every room, keeping you from ever feeling safe. Adding to this air of desperation is the way Doom 3 adheres to the old tenets of FPS gameplay. Health doesn't regenerate, and Hell Knights don't exactly drop shotgun ammo, so every time you eat a fireball to the face or hit nothing but air with a volley of plasma bolts, you really feel it because you know that's another health pack or ammo pickup wasted. And each one of those feels earned. While there's just enough munitions to scrape by in plain sight, exploration is handsomely rewarded. Heading down a dimly lit corridor feels terrifying, but knowing there could be a shiny new plasma rifle at the other end of it makes facing the darkness feel entirely worthwhile. This same sense of urgency and risk-reward carries over nicely to the newly added Lost missions. While it's only a short stint following a member of the ill-fated Bravo team from the main story, it still adds a few more hours of satisfying carnage to an already lengthy campaign. Unfortunately, for all its merit, BFG Edition fumbles the ball in a number of baffling ways. Load times are atrocious, particularly on the PS3. Mandatory autosaves interrupt gameplay, and there's absolutely no way to customize your control settings. That last bit wouldn't be so bad if sprint wasn't bound to clicking the left analog stick, and if you could map your D-pad to quick select your favorite weapons like in, every other PC to console port ever. Gotta love manually cycling through 10 different guns while getting rushed down by the denizens of hell. Hey Pinky, be a deer and stop chewing on my face for a second while I find my shotgun? Doom 3 is a very good game. Probably better than you remember it if you were one of the many fans who found its drastic change in pace from Doom 2 disheartening. Especially for PS3 owners who've never gotten any of this content before, it's a great deal. BFG Edition is a tough sell for the PC crowd, but console jockeys who missed it when it was the next big thing should dive on in. While several nagging issues can make it feel like more of a rushed port than the definitive director's cut it should be, there's no denying that Doom 3 has improved with age. For more on Doom 3, and to find out what the heck BFG stands for, head on over to IGN.